My nails are crusty and dusty. I have anxiety. YouTube is my therapy. Let's all be honest here. I'm a human being. Hello everyone in this YouTube world. Today we are going to be doing a story time, and it's going to sound so cliche, but when I fell in love for the first time, it really did feel like a coming of age movie. So I'm going to tell you my quote coming of age love story. It was a marvelous summer night. Actually, I need to give a little bit of backstory. Once upon a time, several years ago, I got cheated on. Well, I mean, technically, someone attempted to cheat on me, and then I found out about it. I cut that off real quick. Anyways, I was just over the dating experience at this time in my life. I just gone through this really difficult, kind of weird situation in this relationship. And then also, the first date I was ever supposed to go on, I actually got catfish and stood up. That's a story for another time. I was just tired of wasting my energy. And then one day, I got this little message from this guy. To be honest, I was straight up moments away from just deleting all of my socials, all of my messaging apps. And then that one message got to the point where we were talking nonstop. I think the first green flag I got with this dude, whenever we eventually gave each other our phone numbers, the first literal text message to each other we sent was a Cars reference. Wow. And another green flag, during the time period where him and I were just talking nonstop, he had just a way of making me feel heard and appreciated and just really secured. And that's something I never really experienced with anyone romantically. Like, he was offering all the things that I saw in a potential partner even before we put a seal on our relationship. There was this one night where I got this novel. That was kind of what we were known for with each other. Like, we sent each other these really long, really heartfelt messages. This was the first time he had really poured out his emotions to me. He was on a trip somewhere, and the fact that he decided to take the time out of his trip to send me that long message, I was just blown away that this guy was this interested in me. I think we gave ourselves the title soon to be boyfriends. There came the point where we did eventually meet in person. It was one magical summer night. My best friend Kaylee and I were actually going to see a movie at a movie theater at the same exact time that the guy I was talking to and his friends were going to see another movie. It was pretty much one of the most nerve-wracking things I had to go through because I was actually invested and seriously committed to this person. I mean, even though we had only been talking for maybe like a week and a half at this point, this person meant a lot to me because of the way he made me feel and the way he was talking to me and whatnot. So I didn't know what to expect with this first time of us meeting. And it's kind of funny because Kaylee and I were sitting at this milkshake bar area, and I remember sitting there, this dude's two best friends walk in and they sit down next to Kaylee and I, and they pretty much profess that he also had so many nerves. He was extremely nervous. My butterflies were flapping their wings, and just the way he like walked in and he walked past behind me. Whenever I tell you, the second we saw each other, I know I was young, but when I say it was love at first sight, the way that I just looked at this person for the first time, I saw his eyes and then I saw his smile. It was like a whole rush of serotonin. I just knew deep down that this was different. We sat at that bar for a second. It was kind of this nervous banter back and forth until we actually had to go to our respective movies. But before we actually went to the ticket kiosk, this dude, so we're walking past the concession stand and this guy puts his arm around me, right? Like straight up, like puts his arm around me and he's like, he said some witty line along the lines of, so I'd like to be your boyfriend. That was something that was common between us. We usually like to make witty lines to one another. Obviously I was like, absolutely, I'm committed. And I kid kid you not, our movies were on the opposite ends of the movie theater. His arm was still around me and we hugged and then we had to break off. I was so giddy. I was so excited. The only thing that was on my mind during that whole movie was the roller coaster of emotions that I was going through. However, I also was doing a little bit of scheming. I figured out that his movie was actually getting out a lot later than my movie. I wanted to see this guy after his movie got out. All I knew in my head was, how do I initiate a kiss with this dude? Because I kind of had my first kiss taken from me. It felt very forced. It felt orchestrated. But this was my opportunity to take the first kiss into my own hands and really initiate that, because I wanted to give that to this person. And so I remember I messaged him. I said something along the lines of, I have something I want to give you. I wanted to see my boyfriend. I wanted to be one less lonely guy. Okay, I need to stop singing. Just to paint you the picture, it was so beautiful outside. The sun was literally barely cusping the sky. The marquee lights of the movie theater were shining their neon colors, and he was just walking out of the movie theater. This dude was taller, so I was looking up to him. I don't remember exactly what he said, but I'm pretty sure he said something along the lines of, "So what do you have for me?" And I straight up laid a kiss on him, and I went in way too hard. I literally went boop into his face, but thankfully he fixed it and he grabbed me and he kissed me. Whenever I tell you it was fireworks in my stomach, woo-wee, it felt like a moment out of a movie. And I would like to note that a lot of this relationship ended up being through text messaging and video chat, because we did live about an hour from each other. And so a few days after, I ended up going down to where he lived. And let me just tell you, the town he lived in was beautiful. Lake views, a lot of really fun summertime activities. And thus began my summer of doing world tours. My windows were rolling down. I was literally jamming Halsey, the Chainsmokers. I don't want to fight right now. Everything is blue, his pearls, his hands, his joints, all the way there. I remember just being in such a shock that this was actually happening to me. I knew this was something that I had always wanted, but I didn't know it was actually going to happen for me. This first time that I went to go see him, we actually shared our different music tastes to each other. He showed me more like Nicki Minaj, more so the songs that she was featured on, but he showed me the songs No Frauds and Make Love. You know, I'm the iPhone, you the Nokia. Then I showed him some Shawn Mendes. The two songs that I showed him were Kid in Love and Imagination. And let me just say that during that time period, I was obsessed with Shawn Mendes. I have pretty much 3 CDs of the same album. I had to own every copy of it. And then the rain started pouring. I straight up looked at this dude and we kind of just had this moment of agreement. Let's go run around in the rain. And that's what we did. We were running around and it was so cute. We were having a gay old time. Just a great moment. And then we went to this restaurant that was on the lake. We had these bomb, I think they were called alligator bites. Oh my, they were one of the best appetizers I had ever tasted. And after we ate dinner, we went to this park. We went swinging on these swings and it just felt really pure and just so genuine, enjoying each other's time. That whole summer was such a cloud 9 of an experience. I had a lot of friends back at home. I was working a really fun job. I was seeing a lot of movies. I was spending a lot of time with friends. It was just a wonderful time to be my age and being in this relationship. And I was just really living in that moment. A few days later, I actually got to meet more of his friends. We went to Sky Zone, and let me just tell you something about Sky Zone. I don't know if I'm just so out of shape, but I swear after 10 minutes of jumping at Sky Zone, I feel like Patrick from SpongeBob in that one scene where he's legit drying out in Sandy's tree dome. After 10 minutes, I was like, His friends were all super dope. I really loved getting to meet them, and they made that time just so much fun. And then we went to go eat an early dinner. Finally, we went to the mall, and this dude, he held my hand whenever we went down an escalator, and I was shook because, you know, because we're like, but we were together freshly years after gay marriage was legalized in all 50 states of the US. That was also something that made me feel the most special with him, and that's why I have such a positive memory of this whole relationship, because we definitely know what judgment we could have experienced from the outside world, but we still embraced our love for each other. We were willing to put people's judgment of us at the time to the side in order to really love each other in that moment, and I'm so thankful that I got to share those moments with him. There was another moment, and this was the moment that I knew that I was in love with this dude. This was another time where I went to go see him. We went to this lake entertainment park area. Pretty much they had inflatables out in front of the lake. There was mini golf, there was a swimming pool, there was a bomb pizza place. We decided to get paddle boats, and then we went out on the lake, and I kid you not, we were just sitting there and it was so peaceful. I'm going to rewind the story a little bit and give you a little bit of context for why this next moment was just so special to me. I remember before we even walked into this entertainment area place, he had said something to me along the lines of, hey, I don't think we'll be able to really show any PDA here. You know, it's a really public place. There's a lot of people around, and I wholeheartedly agree. But we were out on the lake on these paddle boats, and I remember he sort of reeled my paddle boat in, and he looked at me the way he just always did. He had a way of looking at me. It made my heart melt. He looked at me and he kissed me. I was so in love with this dude. The place we were at had some bomb pizza. I will still drive an hour to this day to go grab a slice of pizza from that place. There's no reason that this pizza place had to be so good at this random entertainment park, but it ended up being one of the best slices of pizza I had ever tried. We had amazing dates. There were so many cute little restaurants that he would take me to. For an example, there was this flower shop / breakfast and lunch sort of place that we went to. And then there were some restaurants out on the lake. But granted, we were in a small town, so our options for places to eat were very slim. Those days were so incredibly special to me. There was one specific day, and on this day, we sat at this bench right next to the lake, and it just so happened to be underneath these two trees with branches that were literally connected to each other. This was the kind of date where we went really into a serious conversation. We were so completely transparent with each other at that time. In that moment, I felt so secure and safe. And this dude, I remember he specifically was looking at my fingers. We got really serious to the point where on our 1-month anniversary, he gave me a promise ring. I accepted it. I was in love with this dude. At the time, we were having very serious, very real conversations. Granted, now that I'm looking back, I was extremely young, but we were talking about where we saw each other beyond high school, beyond college, where we saw our lives together. However, I will say we had it easy at the time because it was summer vacation. We had a lot of free time to where we could just focus on each other. We didn't have the stresses of school or really any of our extracurricular activities to void our attention from each other. Our schedules, once we got back to school, were going to be pretty busy. We were both ready to make it work. Right before our 2-month anniversary, I had gotten him a similar promise ring to mine. So my promise ring had a gold band on the outside and sort of a black decal sort of thing on the inside. His was more of a black band on the outside, and then it was gold engraved on the inside of it. Don't worry, it wasn't actual gold. They were just $20 rings off of Amazon. on, but the meaning behind them meant so much more to me. I wore that ring every day of my life for a good probably 6 to 7 months. I'm so grateful that I was able to experience this great summer. There's just so much that looking back that really morphed my journey into where I'm at today, and I'm incredibly thankful for those moments. There's nothing really more to say about that relationship that I had with that guy. I was so in love with this guy. I was so fully ready to come out of the closet and fully embrace who I was with this guy. Granted, I'm kind of happy that I came out on my own terms, and my coming out was sort of in different phases. For him, I would have easily just ripped off the band-aid and said, this is who I am and this is who I choose to be with, and I'm happy about it. I'm guessing you're wondering what happened with this relationship. We didn't end up working out, and that's kind of an umbrella term of just everything. There's a lot more to our story that I'm just gonna choose to own the narrative of we had a great time together and we made beautiful memories together. And that's the narrative I want to go with moving forward. I will say that this relationship had to have happened in order to pilot me into the journey of discovering myself. I'm so grateful I got to fall in love and have this cliche sort of love story with the guy that I did. I do not regret a single moment. It was something that I always wanted to experience. And we even had great memories after we weren't 100% together. We've had multiple times where we've hung out both by ourselves and with other friends around. I don't think I would consider us in each other's lives currently, and I'm thankful for him and what we did together. It was scary, but I'm so much more comfortable in my sexuality because of that relationship. And because of him, I was able to meet so many wonderful people that are now my ride or dies in my life. That's all I really have to say for this YouTube video. Thank you so much for watching this YouTube video. Make sure you click subscribe, that way you don't miss out on any one of my videos. And I just want to say thank you so much for watching this video and taking time out of your day by just checking out a little bit of my channel and spending a little bit of time of listening to one of my stories. If you want to stay up to date with what I'm doing in my life, make sure you follow me on all my social medias at tytywhitehead, and I will see you in another video. Have a great one, you guys.